Okay, this is just going to be a short little, kind of like a story about 12th house people and how they're a little bit far removed from the real world. And the energy is decreased a little bit in the 12th house. So if anybody has any planets in the 12th house, I call them a 12th houser. And this is a story. My father passed away, and I decided, after my dad passed, that I was going to go and try to have a real career. And I've had several careers. I get bored very easy, probably over 120 jobs. But my main thing, when I got out of college, my degree's in history and jurisprudence from University of Baltimore. And I used to go to cocktail parties, and people would make a joke. Oh, well, so basically you can just tell stories at the cocktail party, but you're never going to have a real job. Well, we all have a real job. My job, for Scorpio planets in the 12th house, is pretty much to be a catalyst or a light worker. And usually people not always receive you so well. Now you go into a new job. I took a job at the Nashville International Airport in a well-known boutique, and it was a group of boutiques. And, I was doing my little meditation. I was living in North Carolina, and the job came through on Craigslist, which everybody knows that college degree people don't go on Craigslist for jobs, but I did. And I don't see things in categories like that. I see things in energy and possibility and opportunity and what's meant to be in my path. So I met a lady named Paula, Dynamo. She called her workers her angels. She was just appeared to be a wonderful leader, and the opportunity was good. It was a Swiss company in international airports, and it was boutique. It was fashion design. There was a Native American store attached to it, which really spoke to my spiritual side. So I took the job. And it was a little slow moving because of the background changes, background checks that you have to go through. And, I'm Sag rising. I don't like to wait. And I'm thinking, what's taking so long? But I finally got approved, and I did get the job. And when I went in immediately, I noticed that people were not comfortable with my presence. And a 12th house person will often be bullied. I have a Leo Mars, so you got to push real hard. In my old days, you could easily trigger me. In this days of, since my awakening, I don't really care. I don't judge people. I have boundaries, but I'm not going to snap or compete. Competitiveness goes out the door once you awaken. So you see everybody triggering or acting out as somebody that needs something they're not getting. So we'll go to a woman, and she worked with me, and she was putting up a false front, and she was older, and she was an Aries, and she was very stubborn, and she was set in her ways. She would show up at work with holes in her leggings, but she was the kindest, nicest person to my face. Appeared to be a friend, and in jobs it happens. People are threatened. People think, oh, you might be making more money. Oh, you have a college degree. You're going to take my job. So I usually go in and explain that I've had basically a globetrotter, but that I'm trying, to get my health back and to get something steady so that I could have health benefits. And so I took her out. I treated her to lunch. I told her, she told me about her sister that had passed, and a lot of times when you're 12th houser, you'll get people who immediately open up to you. Now, mine 12th house planets are in Scorpio, so everybody knows that it's about death and a very thin veil, and it rules resurrection, sort of, heavy topics. So people very often open up to me, and they want to know what you know. Now, here's the thing. We can do damage if we share information with people or souls that are not on the same path, or they're not ready to hear what you have to say. So this particular person, responsibilities were put on her, and they would coin, a few of the people that worked there would coin the dynamo that I was working for, the boss, Paula, as Paula Pitbull. Once a person gets negative or attaches stereotypes or jealousy or greed or anger to a person that I've just met, I don't listen because I'm really not in a place to judge. The energy will speak for itself. Now, I like to guess the signs of the people, and I would describe Paula as a huge heart, a dynamo, but a person not necessarily committed to hands-on leadership, meaning she chose good leaders, she kept them in place, and she controlled them and expected them to be loyal to her. Now, and that's fine. A lot of people operate business that way, but I didn't find her present. I didn't find her available. I liked her. I thought she was very cool. I've never had a boss in retail that showed up in denim jeans and just cool, positive. She did everything possible to help me, but I was not trained. So, and I didn't really need to be trained. I mean, I've been cashiering for 30 years, but it was causing resistance between the two forces. So you look at things differently when you're in it, obviously, when you can look back and you could see. So one day, the person that had had a long history at one job. She said, "I will tell you something. I've had jobs for 25 years." So that's great. That's great for you, and that will often happen in a person's chart. There's 12 planets where there's a lot of fixed or cardinal energy. It's not that they're afraid of risk, but they'll take the given and the steady eddy. Now, in a Sag rising like me, who likes to move around, experience, expand, grow, travel, that's not going to happen. So we were discussing, it was basically like a way to put me down or to say, but when your ego is operative, you will react. But to me, it doesn't mean anything. It just means that they can only see things their way, and their ego is triggering their thoughts. So for a 12th house person, it's different. I've had many jobs, like I said, over 100 jobs, and for 10 years I was fighting between spirituality and art, when in fact they're the same darn thing.